I think Totodile is my favorite Johto starter out of the three. So today I am playing through all of Pokemon Heartgold using only Totodile and his evolved forms. For those of you who are new to this channel, I have done this before with Cyndaquil and even Chikorita. And so far, honestly, Chikorita was probably easier than Cyndaquil. So let's see how Totodile ranks up against everyone else at the end. Right at the beginning of the game, we get to pick our starter, and I think obviously we choose Totodile, as this video wouldn't be named playing Pokemon with only Totodile or something. Anyway, we run over to Mr. Pokemon's house. On the way back, we absolutely obliterate our rival and give the egg to Professor Elm. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of regret giving him the egg because he doesn't back me up when the police accuse me of stealing from him when he's standing right there and he knows I didn't do it. Once the police decide to finally leave me alone, we make our way over to Violet City to take on Sprout Tower and the first gym. Sprout Tower was something I thought I would struggle with a lot, but it turns out really wasn't that bad. Totodile is a monster. We stormed through the tower with very little trouble, and it was time to take on the first gym. Falconer leads Pidgey, who goes down to a bite, and then Pidgeotto goes down to a few more bites after that. Easy. Moving on, we have to go to the Pokemart to pick up the egg, talk to a kimono girl, and it was time to make our way to Azalea Town. And somewhere along the way, Totodile evolves into a Croconaw, probably one of my favourite Pokemon of all time. Before we're allowed to go to the gym, we have to save the Slowpoke from down the well, which we do really easily because Team Rocket absolutely suck. And once Kurt's back suddenly gets better after we do all the hard work, then we can finally take on the gym. I wasn't sure how I felt about this one, honestly. I didn't think it would be too hard, but the Scyther is always a little bit troublesome. We start the battle anyway. He leads with Scyther, and it goes down to 2 Ice Fangs. And then all that's left is the Metapod and the Kakuna, which also go down to a few Ice Fangs. I was worried about nothing. We had another rival fight after the gym, but luckily for me, my rival, who's called Dude, still sucks. Ghastly went down to a bite, Bayleaf died to 2 Ice Fangs, and Zubat to 2 Water Guns. And it's time, finally, to make our way to Goldenrod City, where we're going to have to fight Miltank. I swear, every single time I worry about Miltank in these runs, I breeze through it so much easier than I thought I would. So let's see if the same thing happens here. Quick little spoiler, it absolutely does not. But hey, before we do that, we do have to find some Farfetch'd in the woods, and I teach Croconaw a headbutt, replacing Scratch finally. But we make it to Goldenrod, we send Whitney back to the gym, and it's time to take her on. Yeah, so we failed the first few attempts, since Miltank kept getting so lucky on infatuations, it's actually just insane. We get past Clefairy with absolutely no trouble, but we need to just get lucky and actually hit Miltank a good amount of times, because I've never seen one Pokemon get so many stuns in their entire lives. I did this a few times, and Miltank consistently kept getting ridiculously lucky. It was dumb. So I decided I was going to go level up a little bit, so I fought all of the trainers on the route above, and then came back to the gym once Croconaw was level 29. And once he was level 29, we finally could take out that stupid cow. I mean, we even nearly still lost that one, but still. Anyway, once that was done, getting to Ecruteak was the next big challenge. I say big challenge, but there's a ghost type gym there, and we have a really strong Pokemon who knows Bite. Speaking of strong Pokemon, Croconaw evolves into a Feraligatr after some training against the trainers in the National Park, and we replace Bite with Crunch, which, you know, is kind of helpful for the next gym. But before we go to the gym, there is something else we need to do, which is the Burnt Tower. We meet Ucine in here and kind of completely ignore him, but we do have a rival battle. The only actual threat or annoying Pokemon on this team anymore is Magnemite. But we got super lucky and Ice Fang actually froze it, meaning it couldn't do anything against us. Once we set all of the dog Pokemon free, it was finally time to take on Morty. Ghastly comes out at the start and we crunch it for a one-hit KO. The same happens to everybody else. Yeah, easy. I then decide to go and climb the lighthouse, where we get tasked to go and get the medicine to save Ampharos, but more importantly, there's a gym on that island that we need to go to. So we're going to do that first. Chuck is the next gym leader, and he only has 2 Pokemon. Primate goes down to a single Surf, and we eventually take out the Poliwrath with Slashes. I was doing this run quite late at night, and I think I was using Surf against the Poliwrath, which actually, you know, healed it a little bit. Not my smartest move, but it worked out in the end. We grab the medicine, take it back to Jasmine, and we can finally take on her gym. The trainers just let us past, and suddenly we were face to face with a Magnemite. It turns out Surf is a one-hit KO on all of our Pokemon. I knew we were over-leveled, but Feraligatr is just a beast. Now we need to go the other way from Ecruteak City to start heading over towards Mahogany Town and the Lake of Rage. We beat the shiny Gyarados, watch Lance hyper beam a human being, probably killing them, and we help him take out of all of Team Rocket. I'm not going to lie, Team Rocket is so unbelievably bad when we have a Feraligatr that's this strong. It's a waste of time even showing you any Team Rocket stuff. But once that was finally out of the way, it was time to take on Price, the Ice-type gym leader. Now, I always do slightly worry about Price because Ice-types are weird, but let's just see how we do. Slash nearly one-shots the first seal, but after a potion, 2 more slashes takes it out. Piloswine comes out next and goes down to 1 surf. And finally, Dugong comes out and a few slashes does the job. Not bad. It's not as clean as the Typhlosion run, but it was good enough. We then went and saved Radio Tower, beating all of Team Rocket with ease. We had another rival fight, which was easy. And then it was time to make our way over to the final gym leader. And that final gym leader was Claire, the Dragon-type trainer. This is a really good indication as to whether or not Lance is going to be a problem for us. I always kind of thought that this run would actually be one of the easier ones since we get access to Ice-type moves, something we didn't get last time around anyway. So I was feeling confident going into this fight. I start the battle with Claire and she leads Gyarados. Now, I think this might be the only Pokemon in this game I don't really have an answer to. Luckily though, a few slashes manages to take out the Gyarados and both of her Dragonairs go down to 1 Ice Fang each. And the big bad Kingdra comes out at last. This is such a cool Pokemon. Like, can we take a second? This thing is sick. Too bad a few Ice Fangs and slashes absolutely destroyed it. As always, Claire is being a baby, so we have to go and take the quiz in the cave behind the gym, and then she finally decides to stop being a baby and just give us the badge. Like, it really wasn't that hard. Like, why have there been 2 gym leaders that have refused to give me a badge to start with? You're all meant to be adults. Come on. Anyway, with 8 gym badges in our pocket, it is time to prepare for the Elite Four. Or it would be, but we have to beat some Kimono girls first. These guys aren't too much trouble, even though you have to find them back-to-back. And I think Jolteon was the only one who gave me a little bit of trouble, but we dealt with it. We then have to climb the tower to fight Ho-Oh, and this time I just threw the Master Ball at it. I was going to kill it, but the Kimono girls were so upset last time, I just couldn't do it to them. But now it's finally time to head to the Elite Four. We had one last rival fight to go, but as always, he wasn't that hard. We managed to take down Sneasel, Meganium, Magneton, Haunter, Kadabra, and Golbat with absolutely 0 issues. I decided before the Elite Four that I wanted to get Ice Beam for Feraligatr, since it would be better than Ice Fang and hopefully one-shot a lot of the champions' Pokemon. So I went and gambled for a little bit until I had enough to buy the move I wanted. I then trained Feraligatr up a tiny bit, and finally it was time to take on the Elite Four. I gave Feraligatr a Never Melt Ice, and I started the battle with Will. He leads with Xatu, who goes down to a Crunch. Jinx died to a Crunch as well. Executor died to another Crunch. Slowbro took a few more Crunches to kill, but we did get there. And the final Xatu went down to, would you have guessed it, another Crunch. Hey, that's 1 Elite Four member down, and I've only used 1 move. Not bad. Koga suffered a similar fate. Ariados went down to 2 slashes, Fortress went down to a surf, Muk eventually went down to 2 surfs, Crobat went down to another surf, and finally Venomoth goes down to an Ice Beam and a surf. So a tiny bit more work, but still really not that difficult. Bruno was next. Hitmontop went down to an Ice Beam which froze him, and then a slash killed him, which was super nice. Hitmonchan went down to an Ice Beam and a surf. Hitmonlee went down to a surf and then a slash after a full restore. Machamp went down to 2 surfs, and Onyx, well, Onyx just, he died to a surf. It was a waste of time even using surf on him. He was just dead anyway. That sure was one challenging Elite Four fight. The final Elite Four member is Karen. She is always a little bit annoying in these runs. I'm not sure why, I just don't think Dark really works well with a lot of our Pokemon that we end up getting. She starts with Umbreon, who does go down to a surf. Vileplume goes down to an Ice Beam. Gengar got hit with an Ice Beam, which I clicked by accident, and then died to a surf. Houndoom went down to a surf too, and the Murkrow died to a slash. And now it is finally time to take on Lance. We heal up our Pokemon, we step foot into the Golden Champions room, and it was finally time. Lance, as always, leads with Gyarados, the one Pokemon in this game we struggle with. We spam Crunches on it until it finally goes down, and the rest of Lance's Pokemon all fall to the power of the super effective Never Melt Ice boosted Ice Beam. Well, except for Charizard. I had to use Surf on him, but it still stabbed, so it still sounds cool. But after Charizard went down, we had done it. We have now beat Lance with every single one of the Johto starters. I love doing these kind of videos, and I definitely want to do more of them, so make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're new, so you don't miss out next time.